of tonight's Chicago Collegiate Athletic Conference matchup between the visiting Crimson Wave of Calumet College of St. Joseph and your Fighting Saints. At this time, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, kindly move your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. At this time, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the Crimson Wave of Cal St. Joe. Senior point guard, number 1, Markeisha Colden. Sophomore guard, number 11, Destiny Hughes. Freshman guard, number 12, Journey Tisby. Freshman forward, number 23, Jasmine Parker. And the freshman forward, number 3, Marissa Escobar. Sophomore guard out of Toronto, Australia, number 10, Georgia Bolton. The junior guard out of Indianapolis, Indiana, number 21, Braxton Mickens. The graduate guard out of Wanata, Indiana, number 23, Justine Charlberg. The senior guard out of Oakland, Illinois, number 24, and the graduate forward out of Traralgon, Australia, number 33, Jordan Pyle. The Fighting Saints are coached by John McGinty.
Good afternoon from inside the Sullivan Center here on the campus of the University of St. Francis. It's time for Fighting Saints basketball, as today the University of St. Francis women's team takes on the women of the Crimson Wave of Calumet College of St. Joseph. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for this afternoon's contest. St. Francis comes in with a record of 2-1 on the season. Calumet 0-2. Both of their matchups have been conference losses for the Saints. This is the first CCAC game of the season. St. Francis in their brand new white home duds on the floor right now, going from right to left here in the first period. Calumet, appropriately enough, in crimson, going from left to right. Marissa Esquivel against Jordan Pyle on the tip. It's won by Pyle and the Fighting Saints as they take the first possession of the game. Jordan Pyle slices through the defense and scores the first 2 points on a layup from the right side. Nice drive by the reigning CCAC Player of the Year, scoring her first conference points of this season. Second home game of the season for the Fighting Saints. Again, first time they've been out here against a conference opponent. The three-point attempt is off the mark from Jasmine Barker, the Calumet leading scorer this season. Hannah Switek takes it the other way. Switek drives in with the left hand, kicks it into the corner. Jordan Pyle knocks down the three. 5 points already for Pyle in the first 45 seconds of tonight's matchup. And a great start for the Fighting Saints, who have not lost to Calumet in the last 12 tries. Calumet is looking for their first win overall in nearly 3 years. Destiny Hughes backs out of the post. She's down in the corner. She picks up the dribble, swings it around to the top. Three-point attempt with 4 on the shot clock misses from Jasmine Barker, and the rebound is tracked down by the Fighting Saints. Here's Hannah Switek the other way. Switek trying to cut through a couple of defenders, and she loses her footing and the ball. A little overzealous that time from the junior Switek. Calumet basketball. Lobbed down low. This is Barker backing in on Pyle. Switek comes in, knocks it away, and out of bounds. It was last touched by Hannah Switek, the senior guard for St. Francis. In her 4th year with the program here. It'll stay with Calumet, 13 to shoot. This is Barker up top, passing off to the right side. Destiny Hughes lobs it down low. Coleman, Markeisha Coleman in some trouble. Passes outside with 4 seconds to shoot. A running hook shot misses short from Vanessa Howell. And here comes Georgia Bolton getting her first start of the season for St. Francis. Switek out to Braxton Mickens. Wide open three from the wing. Short. Offensive rebound. Pyle. She lays it in for her 6th and 7th points. Just over 2 minutes in. Our score is Jordan Pyle 7. Everybody else nothing. Calumet trying to get off the schneid here, looking for their first points of the game. Markeisha Coleman passes up top to Jasmine Barker. Barker has scored over 20 a game, the first 2 for Calumet, and she walks here. Really more of a hop than a walk. Regardless, traveling is the call. And Calumet makes their first substitution of the game. Ariel Esquivel comes in. She is the only sub available to Calumet today. They've got just 7 players on the roster to begin with, but they're running with just 6 as Justine Charlesworth fires the three and hits for her first points of the night. First points for anyone not named Jordan Pyle. It's a 10-0 St. Francis lead. They've hit 2 from the outside. Here's Esquivel passing off to Barker. Barker fakes the three, takes a dribble off to the right side. Half the shot clock used up as the ball is given up to Marisa Esquivel at the top. Handed off to Coleman, coming around to the right side. Barker on the wing, 7 to shoot. Back to the top. Calumet has not been able to get it inside the three-point line on this possession so far. Howell with 1 to shoot, didn't see the shot clock, and it's a Calumet turnover on the shot clock violation. Just over 3 minutes into the game, all St. Francis so far. They lead it by a 10 spot, and they take possession once again. Just 1 empty possession so far in this game for the Fighting Saints. They've been dominant on both sides. Switek bounces inside to Bolton. Bolton loses a handle, dives on top of it, keeps possession alive. Justine Charlesworth, second chance for 3, no good. Long rebound is deflected out to Switek. Shot clock resets to 20. Charlesworth, 1 of 2 from the outside, gives it up to Switek. She'll try the 3, and she connects for her first points of the game. Switek has stepped up offensively this year. She's the leading scorer for St. Francis through 3 games. 3 ball for Barker off the front iron, no good. Here's Switek pushing the pace the other way, kicks it outside. Charlesworth, another 3. 4th three-pointer of the game for the Fighting Saints, and that's enough for Jake Parker on the Calumet sideline. He calls timeout exactly 4 minutes into the action with 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. It's a huge lead for St. Francis, 16-0 our score. Not a huge surprise the way this thing has started out. St. Francis has been dominant in this rivalry over the last decade. Calumet has been able to score at a little bit of a better clip than they've shown the ability to do so far today. But their defense has been lacking early in this season through 2 games. They've allowed an average of 89+ points per contest. And for a Saints team that loves to push the pace and try to rack up as many points as possible, as all teams do, that's music to their ears. all teams like to score as many points as possible. They don't all push the pace the way that John McGinty's Fighting Saints do. And they've been running on every rebound so far today. They've had plenty of chances because Calumet is still looking for their first made shot. One turnover for St. Francis early in the action tonight, but other than that, they've been just about unimpeachable on the offensive end. And they've been perfect on the defensive end, obviously. At 0 on the scoreboard on Calumet's side says it all. Calumet 0 for 4 from the field thus far. The Fighting Saints are 6 for 7. A little half-court pressure. The trap for St. Francis forces the ball out of bounds. Off the hands of Justine Charlesworth. 9 off the shot clock so far. And the Crimson Wave will inbound from the sideline. At the free throw line, it's Barker. Barker immediately triple team, fights her way through traffic, throws up a shot, and throws up her arms in frustration. Didn't understand why a foul wasn't called. Calumet now 0 of 5 shooting. Switek has her second bucket of the game, and she is headed to the free throw line. Switek has 5 now, and the first foul of the game sends her to the free throw line, trying to make it a 3-point play. Saints have made 4 3-pointers already in this game. And now a chance for their 5th 3-point play. Switek, not a good free throw shooter, but she does hit on her attempt here. I should clarify, she had problems shooting last year. Hasn't so far this year. She intercepts the inbounds pass. Sends it over to Mickens. Left wing, wide open 3 for Charlesworth. Rattles around and down. 22-0. There's the 6th 3-point play of the game for the Fighting Saints. We're not even halfway through this first quarter. A trap in the backcourt, knocked out of bounds off of Charlesworth. It'll stay with Calumet, trailing 22-0. This is a team that averages to allow around 90 points per game. They're on pace to give up 90 in the first half today. I don't know that the Saints are going to continue at quite this rate, but what a start for St. Francis today. Inbounded to Coleman. Coleman lobs it down low. This is Esquivel laying up, no good. Had a good look that time, but couldn't finish. Here comes Jordan Pyle operating quickly into the corner. There's a 3-point attempt for Georgia Bolton. It misses short, tapped out to the top of the key. Hannah Switek in down low to Mickens. Mickens is stripped by Coleman, but keeps it alive to Bolton on the outside. Down low, Pyle backs in, turns around and scores. She's got 9. Pyle and Charlesworth each have 9 points for St. Francis. Jordan Pyle now 4 of 4 from the field. Charlesworth's points have all come on 3-pointers. Destiny Hughes walks it to the left for Calumet. This is Jasmine Barker for the Crimson Wave. Barker's been the catalyst so far for the Calumet offense. She's forced the action, but hasn't been able to put the ball in the net. Coleman drives down low. Coleman is called for the travel. She got to the basket there, was able to get the shot up, but it doesn't count as she took an extra step on the way in. John McGinty goes to his bench for the first time. Josie Graffio checks in for St. Francis, along with Lorelei Thormeyer, who handles the ball across half court right now. Alina Yankee is in for the first time, as well as Braxton Mickens drains the 3 from the corner. 27-0, 6 minutes in. Barker tries to slow it down a little bit for the Crimson Wave. Barker bounces off to her right. This is a drive from Destiny Hughes. Now Coleman. 11 to shoot. 3-point attempt from number 11. Off the mark for Hughes. Rebound is chased down by Calumet. That's Vanessa Howell who pulled it in. Howell thought about the 3. Instead, she takes it back to the top of the key and hands it to Markeisha Coleman. Shot clock is down under 10 for Jasmine Barker. Barker guarded outside by Yankee. A pull-up at the block. She misses as Yankee comes away with the block. That's the 6'2" tall senior transfer from Germany. Braxton Mickens out to Yankee, who makes the extra pass. Wide open Charlesworth. Cannot connect on her 4th 3-pointer, but Braxton Mickens grabs the offensive rebound. Here's Josie Graffio. Drive and kick out to Mickens. Down to the cutting Charlesworth. Charlesworth hands it to Yankee. Yankee no good off the glass. Grabs her own miss. 3rd chance of the possession for the Fighting Saints. Lorelei Thormeyer backs it up to the midcourt logo. Over to Graffio. Graffio pull up from the free throw line. Missed it short, grabbed her own rebound, and she lays it in. Jasmine Barker went to sleep on the play. Timeout called by St. Francis. So weird play right there. Graffio was so open. She rushed the shot, almost seemed surprised herself by how open she was from the free throw line. Missed it short, but Barker didn't even try for the rebound. Failed to box out Graffio, and she grabbed an easy board and laid it in. 29-0 now, St. Francis leads as Graffio is on the board. Graffio missed all of last season, so even though she's been around the program for the last 5 years, she's kind of a new addition to the roster. You haven't seen her in a couple of years. One of many changes to the roster this season. After the team won the conference tournament last year and another trip to the national tournament, finished second in the CCAC regular season race to St. Xavier. They were a very talented squad last year, but without a lot of depth. John McGinty's changed that with a lot of new faces on the St. Francis roster this year. We've seen a lot of them already today, including Sierra Mahomes, who has just checked in for the first time. Mahomes, the senior transfer from Division I Oakland University. Played Horizon League ball last year. Now in her first season with the Fighting Saints program. This is Barker working against Mahomes. Dribbled it off her foot and out of bounds. 3/4 of the way through this first period. St. Francis still pitching a shutout so far. Huge lead for the Fighting Saints as Thormeyer splits the defense, kicks it into the corner. Mahomes for three. That's short. Rebound tapped out to Thormeyer. Freshman out of Providence Catholic High School sends it to the wing, and Josie Graffio, who misses on the three-point attempt, and Mahomes is called for the loose ball foul. Was that foul actually called on Mia Kennelly? Freshman out of Oak Lawn High School, called for her first and the team's first foul. 2 minutes to play in the quarter. Calumet looking for their first score of the night. Destiny Hughes hands it off to Barker. Barker dribbles twice, hands it to Esquivel. Back to Howell. Vanessa Howell trying to penetrate on Mahomes, who does not give her any ground. Passed off to the right side. Bounced down low. Barker works against Yankee and can't get a shot off. Second shot clock violation of the game for Calumet. And in both cases, it seemed as though they didn't even see the shot clock running down, didn't try to get a shot off at the end there. Another turnover committed by the Crimson Wave. Here's Lorelei Thormeyer passing off to the right. Kenley to Graffio. Down low, this is Yankee along the baseline. Reverse layup is good. Alina Yankee, the star player for Trinity International the last few years. Getting a fresh look at the CCAC. In her first year now with the Fighting Saints. Started 2 of the first 3 games of the year. She's come off the bench today and has her first bucket of the evening. 31-point lead for the Fighting Saints in the first quarter. Josie Graffio jumps the passing lane and tips it out of bounds. Under a minute to play in the first. Jake Parker doing what he can to shuffle players in and out here in the first period with just one reserve player at his service today. Turnaround for Hughes, jumper misses. And the rebound goes to the Fighting Saints. St. Francis racing down the floor again. This is Sierra Mahomes who loses it out of bounds, untouched by Calumet. So that's a Fighting Saints turnover. This is potentially Calumet's last offensive possession of the first quarter. So a big one for them, just from a morale standpoint. You never want to get shut out in an entire period. St. Francis, on the other hand, picks up the defensive intensity. Trying to keep that 0 on the board. Esquivel fires a long-range 3. It's an air ball and out of bounds. The shot clock is off for St. Francis, so they can hold on for the final shot of the quarter if they want it. Thormeyer carries it down the floor. Off to Mahomes on the left side. Mahomes looks in the paint, trying to find Kennelly, but it's deflected and taken away by Calumet. 10 seconds to play in the quarter. This is Coleman. Markeisha Coleman looks right. Fires that direction. It's Esquivel. 2 seconds. Hughes, nice fake. Fires the shot at the buzzer. High off the backboard and no good. So the first quarter is in the books, and a pretty one for St. Francis. 31-0 is the score, and the Fighting Saints could not have gotten off to a better start. The fact that they lead right now by 31 says a lot, but it was on pace to be a lot bigger than that. For a while, they had hit 22 points with over 5 minutes still to play in the quarter, so their pace actually slowed down considerably. But that's all right, I think, as far as things go right now, especially with the Saints playing reserves for the majority of the last 5 minutes. Fighting Saints in that first quarter, 12 of 20 from the field. Again, they started 7 of 8, so another area in which they slowed down a little bit as the quarter went on and still put up a huge number, 60% shooting. 6 of 12 from beyond the arc, which is always a big sticking point for the Fighting Saints. They take a lot of threes, and so far this season they've been pretty streaky from beyond the arc. 30% three-point shooting team overall for the year. They're at 50% so far today. Calumet came into play 0-2, but they have not been manhandled like this over a 10-minute stretch. 36% shooting team on the season. They went 0 for 11 in that first quarter. Second quarter about to commence here with the Fighting Saints sending a couple of new players out there. Talia Pellegrini enters for the first time along with Leilani Harris. Graffio, Mahomes, and Yankee stay on the floor. Destiny Hughes does the heavy lifting here for the Crimson Wave. Hand it off, Esquivel dribbles it to the right side, bounces over to Vanessa Howell. Hughes, three-pointer, off the backboard, no good, and the rebound is grabbed by Leilani Harris. Freshman from Oak Lawn for the Fighting Saints. Here's Yankee off the glass, no good. Mahomes tries to rip the rebound away from Howell, and she pulls it off. Passed outside, three-pointer is good for Pellegrini. First points of the night for Talia Pellegrini, who had scored 10 points on the year throughout the first 3 games. She makes it a 34-point lead as Coleman streaks to the hoop, misses on the runner. Yankee grabs the rebound. Yankee 6'2" tall, 5 inches taller than anybody on the Calumet roster. Graffio fights her way inside along the baseline and scores from the right. Josie Graffio's got 5 points now. The lead is up to 36 as Calumet continues to look for their first points, now over 11 minutes into the action. On the right side, it's Vanessa Howell. Howell hands it off. Esquivel, off balance three, knocks it down. So Calumet is on the board. It's Ariel Esquivel, sophomore shooting guard, who gets the first points of the night for Calumet. For Esquivel, that's the first made three-pointer of the season. Comes at a good time. They needed something positive. Harris for the Fighting Saints with under 10 to shoot. Lob down low to Yankee, passes out of the double team to the cutting Josie Graffio, and Graffio lays it in for 2 more. Third bucket of the game for Josie Graffio. Coleman drives on Pellegrini, pull-up, jumper, no good from about 7 feet. Another rebound for Leilani Harris. Pellegrini slows it down a bit as she passes into the corner for Yankee. Yankee drives into a double team, and she's called for the travel. Moving a little bit too quickly right there for the Fighting Saints, who go back to their bench. Senior forward Kaylee Ford checks in for the first time. Mia Kennelly is back out there for St. Francis. Quick three-pointer misses from Jasmine Barker, and Kennelly takes it the other way. Saints going right to left here. Harris on the drive, pulls up, misses on her leaner. Rebound brought in by Calumet. This is Markeisha Coleman to the right side. Coleman drives on Pellegrini, throws it up with both hands, no good. Kennelly working for the rebound, and a held ball is called. Shared possession with Vanessa Howell. Possession arrow faces St. Francis' direction after Calumet got the ball to start the second quarter. Graffio checks out. Thormeyer back in for St. Francis. We're not likely to see a lot of the starting five for the Fighting Saints tonight, after they built a huge first quarter lead. Harris, open three. A little bit too strong. Rebound by Barker. Jasmine Barker works quickly for Calumet. Barker carries it inside, and she walked with it. Kind of lost control of the ball as she tried to pick it up and work her way in for the shot. Hugged it against her hip and took an extra step without shooting. I think she wanted to get that shot off quicker, just again didn't have the handle on it. So she's got another turnover. 35-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Harris fires down low to Kaylee Ford. Ford working against a couple of defenders, and she's fouled. First foul of the quarter on Calumet. It'll be an out-of-bounds play for the Fighting Saints from the baseline. Pellegrini looking to fire it in, finds Ford in the corner. Kaylee Ford shields herself from Coleman, the defender, and hands it back to Talia Pellegrini. Open look for Harris. Harris a little bit long on the three once again. And another loose ball foul is called on Calumet. This one goes against Markeisha Coleman, who undercut Kennelly on the rebound. Pellegrini inbounds it to the top of the key. Lorelei Thormeyer fires it off to the right side. Kennelly had an extra step, fires the three, no good. Rebound to Barker. Barker hands it to Esquivel, coming around to the right side. Back to Coleman. Up top, it's Destiny Hughes. Hughes drives to the left side, runs out of room and gives it back to Barker, and Barker is called for another travel. I think that's the fourth time today that Barker has been called for a traveling violation. She's trying to stay aggressive, but the defense just hasn't given her any ground. Starters back on the floor for St. Francis as John McGinty brings the entire opening unit back onto the floor. First time we've seen them, for the most part, in about 9 minutes of game time. Here's Swiatek on the left wing. Swiatek off to a good start today, as is Justine Charlesworth. He's got 9 points and the ball. Down low to Pyle. Pyle kicks out of the double team to the top of the key. Mickens hits the three. Braxton Mickens has 6. The lead is 38. Coleman walks to the right. Hand off to Marisa Esquivel. This is Ariel Esquivel. Back to Coleman. Good ball movement around the outside. Coleman step back three, no good. Rebound brought down by the sophomore Georgia Bolton. Ahead to Swiatek. Swiatek finds the open shooter in the corner. Jordan Pyle's got 12. Three-pointer for Jordan Pyle, her second of the game. Pyle tonight has played just 7 minutes. She's 5 of 5 from the field for a game-high 12 points. She's been a little bit slow to start this year offensively as Coleman misses on the three-pointer short. Pyle's turned it up in a big way tonight. She's got another opportunity, passes out of it though to Mickens. Mickens misses the three from the corner, and the rebound tracked down by Bolton. Saints reset. Down to the corner, it's Charlesworth, 15 to shoot. Swiatek looks left, finds Mickens in that direction. Across court, Swiatek. Open look from the outside. Short on the three, offensive rebound. Charlesworth in some traffic, misses the shot, but it's blocked out of bounds by Esquivel. Stays with St. Francis. Graffio is in for Pyle. Sent in to Graffio. This is Charlesworth up top. Left side Bolton, fakes left, dribbles right, passes back left to Mickens. Back around the perimeter to the right wing. Three-pointer, Charlesworth is good. Her fourth made three-pointer of the game. Charlesworth is 4 of 6 from the outside. She matches Jordan Pyle's total with 12 points. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half. This is Destiny Hughes driving on Switek. Fights it up and misses. Good defense by Switek. Here come the Fighting Saints. Switek leading the charge. She slows it down as she hits the arc. Passes to her right. Into the corner, Charlesworth. Another three-point attempt. There's number 5. 15 points for the fifth-year senior Justine Charlesworth. 50-3, St. Francis. Still a long way to go here in the first half as the reserves head back to the scorers table for the Fighting Saints. Howell floats it up with the left hand, off the mark. Rebound tracked down along the near sideline by Josie Graffio. Charlesworth, another open look. Can't hit on her 6th three-pointer. Rebound deflected off, though, to Georgia Bolton. Inside, Mickens scores with a foul. Second chance points have been huge for the Fighting Saints with the starters in there. They have dominated the offensive glass, and they haven't had all that many opportunities because they've made well over 50% of their shots. 13 offensive rebounds for the Fighting Saints so far. Calumet has just 5 rebounds total. Braxton Mickens makes it a three-point play and heads to the bench. So it's back to Kenley and Yonke, Harris, Thormeyer, and Pellegrini on the floor for the Fighting Saints. Braxton Mickens checks out with 9. 50-point lead for St. Francis. Quite a showing here in the first half as Esquivel fires a 3. Her three-pointer earlier this quarter, the only points of the game for Calumet. Not this time, but Barker comes away with the steal. Barker tries to bank it in and does not get the roll. Pellegrini working against the full court pressure, weaves her way around a couple of defenders. Harris steps inside the three-point line. Good ball movement to the corner. Thormeyer short on the three-pointer. Kenley grabs the rebound. Dribbles it back outside in traffic down low. Out to Thormeyer, left side three-pointer. This time it goes. Thormeyer missed on her first attempt. Gave it another try, and that one was perfect. So Lorelei Thormeyer is on the board. Her first 3 points today. First made field goal of the season for Thormeyer, who had previously only scored from the free throw line. Way off the mark for Howell on the three-pointer. Final 2 minutes of play in the first half. This is Pellegrini down the lane, runs it up there and can't get the roll, but Yonke is in position for the second chance. Offensive rebound number 15 for the Fighting Saints. And Alina Yonke is back on the board. 4th point for her to go along with her 4 rebounds. Three-pointer for Barker, short. Offensive rebound, second chance misses from Hughes, but the third chance is good. That's Vanessa Howell scoring her first points of the game. Second field goal for Calumet, and it comes off of their second offensive rebound of the game. The lead is down to 53 for St. Francis. Yonke backs in, reverse layup for Yonke, no good. Fighting for her own rebound, but can't get it. It's tipped into the hands of Markeisha Coleman. Calumet trying to score on back-to-back possessions for the first time today. See if they can pull it off late in the first half. It's Barker at the top of the key. Jasmine Barker looks at the basket, fires the three-pointer, it rims out, and the rebound goes to Mia Kenley. Kenley working fast, good pass ahead to Pellegrini, and her layup is good. Talia Pellegrini's got 5 points. Barker trying for a response, she's fouled on the floor. 25 seconds to play in the first half. Shot clock is technically on right now, but the difference between shot and game clock is negligible at this point. So Calumet can hold on for one shot if they want to here. I don't know if that's really a necessary part of the game plan right now. They just want to get any shot they can. Bounced into Barker and deflected out of bounds by Yonke. Ariel Esquivel up top to Marisa Esquivel driving. She's fouled on the shot. So Esquivel will go to the line for a couple of free throw attempts. She's 5 of 6 from the line so far this year. These are the first foul shots of the game for Calumet. Only the third and fourth free throws we've seen in the entirety of this game, as the first one misses. Second shot coming up for Esquivel. And she misses them both. Yankee grabs the rebound. Final 20 seconds of the half here. Pellegrini ahead to Harris. Thormeyer, three-point attempt. Short. Rebound knocked around and secured by Leilani Harris. Under 10 seconds to play in the half. Three-point attempt misses from Kennelly. Another chance for Harris, and Harris puts it in at the buzzer. Leilani Harris off the offensive rebound scores her first points of the evening, and we'll go into halftime with St. Francis ahead by 57 points. 62-5 is our score. An alarming first half for the Fighting Saints, in which they did just about everything they could right to start things out over 20 minutes. 20 more minutes to go. We'll see what more feats they're able to put on the floor over the second half, but we'll see that in about 15 minutes. For right now, I'll step aside, back for the start of the second half in just a little bit. Saints up big here on the USF Sports Network. Second half just moments away from opening up here at St. Francis. Terry Bonadonna with you once again as we get set for the final 20 minutes of the Fighting Saints and the Calumet Crimson Wave. Not a fun one so far if you're a Calumet fan. If you're a St. Francis fan, hopefully you had some fun watching them build a huge lead. They were up 31-0 at the end of the first quarter. 62-5 is the halftime score. Leaders for the Fighting Saints right now. Justine Charlesworth has 15 points. Jordan Pyle has chipped in 12. Hannah Switek, 6 points, 5 assists. Georgia Bolton leads the way with 6 rebounds. Both Mia Kennelly and Alina Yankee have 5. Leilani Harris has 5 rebounds off the bench as well. I don't think we'll be seeing a lot of the starters, if any at all of the starters in the second half for the Fighting Saints. Now on the Calumet side, they got a 3-pointer from Ariel Esquivel and then a late 2-point bucket from Vanessa Howell. That is their scoring. They've got just 8 rebounds total as a team right now. St. Francis is shooting 52% from the field for the game. Calumet is at 7%. They're 1 of 15 from behind the 3-point line as they start the second half with the ball. That's not really their game. They had attempted only 9 3-pointers in 2 games coming in, but they've settled for a lot of bad outside shots because their inability to get inside. That one, an open 3-pointer, but it's no good from Vanessa Howell. An air ball opens up the second half. As expected, subs on the floor for the Fighting Saints to start the second half. We've got Autumn Scholl, the sophomore from Blue Springs, Missouri, out there for the first time. That's Scholl in possession. Her cross-court pass is deflected out of bounds by Hughes. Also on the floor for the Fighting Saints, Harris, Pellegrini, Kennelly, and Thormeyer. Lobbed in for Scholl off of her hands. She's able to track it down and keep it alive out to Thormeyer. 3-point attempt for Kennelly is a little bit short. Saints now 12 of 28 from the outside, but they grabbed their own miss. They did a lot of that in the first half. St. Francis finished the first half with 17 offensive rebounds, more than twice the number of total rebounds for Calumet. Thormeyer misses on the 3. Harris tried to save it, but she was standing out of bounds as she touched the ball. The 57-point halftime lead is pretty big for the Fighting Saints. I had to look up their records at halftime, see if they were challenging anything, and they are. Their most points ever scored in a game is 128. That, not surprisingly, came against Olivet Nazarene. Olivet scored 125 in that game. I don't think that record's in jeopardy because I don't think we're going to see any of the starters on the floor at all this half, as a 3-pointer from the corner is no good from Marissa Esquivel. St. Francis takes it the other way. Pellegrini drives into traffic, pulls it back outside to Harris. Harris on the run. Layup misses, but she's fouled. This is the record that the Saints could be looking for today. Their largest ever margin of victory is 89. And that occurred back in 2008 against Indiana University Northwest. First free throw misses from Harris. They're on pace to shatter that right now, but again, without the starters on the floor, I don't think we'll see the same level of offensive acuity here in the second half that we did in the first. Harris misses both free throws, and the rebound bounds into the hands of Destiny Hughes. Hughes takes it inside, and she travels. Maybe could have been whistled for an offensive foul there as well. She kind of did a little push off on Harris, but in doing so, she also took a step. So traveling violation called against Calumet. We're over a minute and a half into the second half. Neither team has scored yet. Here's Harris at the top. Pass back to Pellegrini. Her 3-point attempt is no good. Subs are really struggling on the 3 balls here for St. Francis, but Pellegrini dives on top of the loose ball. We've got a tie-up, and the possession arrow faces St. Francis. Nice, aggressive play by the Fighting Saints to keep that loose ball alive after it looked like Calumet was going to take possession. They've got a foul here on Calumet, so it's not even going to flip the possession arrow. The initial call was a held ball, but another official came in and overruled it, said no, there was a foul there. It was called on Marissa Esquivel. Here's Harris for 3. Off the mark. Rebound tracked down in the corner by Destiny Hughes. So the Saints are still looking for their first points of the second half. Alina Yankee heads to the scorer's table. So even with a 57-point lead, John McGinty looking for his offense to get into a little bit more of a rhythm. Three-pointer is off the front iron, no good from Jasmine Barker, averaging over 20 points per game coming in. She has not found the scoreboard yet tonight. Harris dribbles it off her foot, out of bounds. Offense out of sorts for the Fighting Saints to start this second half. Not that they particularly need to add on. Scholl checks out, Harris checks out as well. Sierra Mahomes comes in along with Yankee. Here's Markeisha Coleman crossing over on Mahomes, who's called for the foul. That'll be the first on Mahomes. We did not see a lot of fouls called in the first half, just 7 of them total. 4 on Calumet, 3 on the Saints. Coleman will trigger the inbounds play. Finds Jasmine Barker. Step back for Barker, off the backboard, no good. Here's Pellegrini ahead for Mahomes. Mahomes blows by the defenders but misses the layup. Good step to get inside for Mahomes, just couldn't quite finish. Barker passes up top to Esquivel. Ariel Esquivel made the three-pointer earlier, cannot connect this time, and it's going the other way. Lorelei Thormeyer, the freshman point guard, picks it up and throws inside for Yankee. Nice positioning inside for Alina Yankee, and she finally breaks the second half stalemate. Over 3 minutes had gone by with neither team scoring. The Saints are back on the board, 6 points for the senior Yankee. And a nice runner on the other end for Coleman. Markeisha Coleman has her first points. And Calumet matches St. Francis with their first bucket of the second half. Wide open, Yankee inside, she's fouled. Barker came in from the backside of the play. And her only option was to foul Yankee there because as the senior center caught that ball in the post, she was all alone. So Yankee goes to the foul line where she has made just 2 of her 6 attempts this season. She's now 3 of 7. She's done all the scoring for the Fighting Saints here in the third quarter. 7 points overall for Yankee, who came into play today averaging about 7 per contest. And now she outdoes that number. She's at 8. Hughes takes it for Calumet. Given up to Esquivel. Here's Hughes once again. Up with the right hand, can't get the roll. Rebound to Yankee. Thormeyer takes it into the teeth of the defense, kicks it back outside. Alina Yankee finds a wide open Mia Kennelly. Squares it up and knocks down the 3. Kennelly's got her first 3 points. And for Mia Kennelly, that's the 4th made bucket of the season. Jumper for Barker is no good. Barker's frustrating day continues as Pellegrini makes a nice move around Hughes, can't finish. But Alina Yankee does grab the rebound and she does finish. 7 points this half for Yankee, who's now got 10 for the game. She's closing in on a double-double. Yankee's got 7 rebounds to go along with her 10 points. Third Saint to reach double-figure scoring today. And now she's got a block on her stat sheet as well, as Barker's three-pointer is tipped by Yankee. Barker called for a foul as she knocks over Mia Kennelly, lunging for the loose ball. Third foul called against Jasmine Barker. With over 15 minutes remaining in the game. That's a big third foul just because Calumet only has 6 active players. They can't afford to see anybody really get in foul trouble. Sierra Mahomes over to Josie Graffio, who just checked back in. Graffio dribbles down in the corner, kicks it out to Yankee. Pull up in the lane, no good. Fighting for her own rebound, she keeps it alive to Kennelly. Another chance for the Fighting Saints as Mia Kennelly hits another 3. 2 in a row for the freshman Kennelly. $67-point lead for St. Francis, and Barker throws it away. She was looking for Hughes. 2 of them not on the same page there. Sierra Holmes on the drive, lays it in. St. Francis starting to get going on the offensive end once again as Esquivel gets to the basket uncontested and lays it in. Kaylee Ford and Talia Pellegrini are back in for St. Francis. The Saints call a timeout here, leading it by 67 points at 76-9, just over halfway through the third quarter. Charlesworth is the team leader with 15 points, 5 of 8 shooting from three-point range, and she managed that in just 10 minutes of play tonight. In fact, the starting five, Bolton, Mickens, Charlesworth, Switek, and Pyle, all played 10 minutes or fewer, and it would be surprising to see any of them back in the game. So 44 total minutes for that starting five. All of them but Bolton scored. Bolton contributed with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. About 42 points in those 44 minutes for the starters. Pretty nice day's work. It's the St. Francis subs in control of the basketball right now as Mahomes kicks it out to Thormeyer. Thormeyer works her way around the perimeter, back to the right side, Pellegrini. Lob back over to Thormeyer, shoveled into the corner. This is Kaylee Ford working her way inside. Ford is stripped, taken away by Ariel Esquivel. Nice defensive play by her. Drive from Markeisha Coleman, and she's called for the push-off. Thormeyer takes the charge. St. Francis forces the turnover. Fighting Saints committed their 7th turnover of the game on the other end. It's the 11th committed by Calumet. Not a huge number of turnovers for the Crimson Wave. Their offensive troubles have been less about turning the ball over and more about poor shot selection. They're 4 of 38 from the field as Thormeyer misses on the 3. Rebound grabbed in the corner by Vanessa Howell. Howell drives left side, blocked by Mahomes. 4th shot block by the Fighting Saints in the game. Number 1 for Mahomes. Thormeyer checks out. Leilani Harris is back in. There's Jasmine Barker deep in the corner. Step back, long 2 for Barker is good. Her first points of the game. And that gets Calumet into double digits. 76-11 our score. They're on a 4-0 run. I guess a little bit charitable to refer to 4 points as a run, but it's the first time today that they've been able to score back-to-back buckets. Kaylee Ford misses a close jumper. The rebound goes to Calumet. Barker on the other end. 1 on 3. Pulls up just inside the free throw line and misses the jumper. She was in a hurry to get that shot off. Here's Harris passing to the left side. Kaylee Ford back out to Harris. Pellegrini finds Graffio. 1 step in, kicks into the corner. Sierra Mahomes for 3. That's short. Rebound grab by Harris. Another chance for the Fighting Saints. Josie Graffio, open look from the outside, and she drills it. 9 points for Josie Graffio tonight. Slow offensive start to the season for Graffio, who was one of the biggest contributors off the bench for the Fighting Saints 2 years ago before her injury knocked out her entire 2021-22 season. 3-pointer misses from Esquivel. Graffio grabs the rebound. Pellegrini on the move, off to the right side. Harris for 3, that's short. Graffio grabs the rebound, and she's fouled by Marisa Esquivel down low. So Marisa Esquivel picks up her 3rd foul, the 2nd Crimson Wave player with 3. Autumn Scholl back in for the Fighting Saints. Inbounds play goes to Harris. Harris works her way to the right. In between a couple of defenders, a nice move to get the layup with the right hand. Leilani Harris has her 2nd bucket of the game. It's a drive from Hughes. Hughes scores and fouled by Scholl. Nice drive by Destiny Hughes. A chance at a 3-point play for her. The lead is 70 for the Fighting Saints. Make it 68 now with that bucket. And Hughes will get the 2nd chance of the game from the free throw line for Calumet, where they have collectively gone 0 for 2 so far. Yankee is back on the floor. Hughes makes the free throw. 3-point play. First 3 points of the game for Destiny Hughes. She came into play today averaging 8 points per contest. on the right side. This is Kennelly, open three. That's her third of the half. Mia Kennelly's got 9 points for the Fighting Saints. The lead is back to 70. Jasmine Barker on the outside, shadowed by Sierra Mahomes. Works her way to the right, picks up her dribble, turnaround jumper, off the mark, offensive rebound. Esquivel kicks it out to Ariel Esquivel, who connects on the long two, assisted by Marissa Esquivel. Calumet starting to find their rhythm offensively a little bit. Obviously, it's going to be too little too late, but you want to leave with a few positive feelings, and they are starting to score the basketball a little bit better lately. Leilani Harris for three, good. Harris has 7. 11 minutes to play in the game. It's a 71-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Again, their largest margin of victory in school history is 89. And they're not going to be around there if Calumet keeps knocking down shots the way they have their last few possessions. First 3 of the game for Markeisha Coleman, who came in averaging 16 per contest. So now she's starting to find her stroke. Pellegrini on the wing. Her three-pointer in response is good. All of a sudden, we're just trading three-point plays back and forth. It's a 90-19 lead for St. Francis. Drive for Marissa Esquivel. She's fouled by Yankee going up. She'll get a chance to redeem herself from the free throw line, where she missed a couple of attempts in the first half. First foul on Yankee, third on the team. Fighting Saints got off to a slow start offensively in this quarter after putting 62 points on the board in the first half. They went over 3 minutes without scoring here in the second, but all of a sudden there are 28 points on the board. That'll happen when you're hitting your outside shots, and that's what they've been doing lately. Now 6 of 13 from beyond the arc in the quarter. Esquivel makes 1 of 2. Harris holds it on the right wing, puts the ball on the floor, gives it up to Kennelly on the elbow. Up top, wide open shooter, Sierra Mahomes, in and out on the 3. Rebound to Leilani Harris. Here's a chance for Pellegrini on the outside, and Pellegrini makes the 7th three-pointer of the quarter for the Fighting Saints, and that will end the third quarter. 93-20 our score, and the Fighting Saints come on strong late in the third quarter to match their quarter total. They've put 31 on the board in each quarter of the game so far. Positive for Calumet, they started to put the ball in the basket as well. After just 5 points scored in the first half, they scored 15 in the third quarter. And they turned it over just 3 times in that period as well. Fighting Saints now have 4 players to have scored in double figures. Charlesworth leads the way with 15 points. Jordan Piles got 12. Talia Pellegrini is up to 11. And Alina Yankee has 10 points and 8 rebounds. So she's got a chance at a double-double today, depending on whether or not we see her in the fourth quarter. Mia Kennelly and Leilani Harris are both in the neighborhood of double-doubles as well, as the Saints have out-rebounded the Crimson Wave today, 58-16. That's almost more alarming than the 73-point scoring margin we've got right now. To be plus 42 on rebounds. Fighting Saints have 24 offensive rebounds, which is 8 more than Calumet's got total today. There's a lot of statistical quirks that I could talk about when you have a game like this. And most of them don't read well for Calumet, but again, they've played much better on the offensive end lately. They're trying to take some positives away here in this fourth quarter. We'll see how they're able to close things out. Mahomes, Ford, Kennelly, Harris, and Thormeyer out there for the Fighting Saints. Marissa Esquivel in control of the basketball for Calumet. She gives it up to Barker. Jasmine Barker puts it on the floor, crosses back to the left side, passes over to Howell. Howell, pull up from 2-point range. Off the front iron, rebounded by Kennelly. Thormeyer will take it down the floor, and Coleman backs off. 3-point attempt for Kennelly is good. Mia Kennelly's got 12 points. She becomes the 5th Saints player in double figures. All of her work has been done from beyond the 3-point arc. St. Francis bearing down on 100 for the first time this year. Barker is called for another travel. Jasmine Barker has turned it over 6 times so far tonight. 12th turnover of the game for Calumet. Bounce down low. This is Autumn Scholl. Lays it up and in. Autumn Scholl is on the scoreboard for the first time this year. St. Francis has gotten offensive contributions from just about everybody as a blocking foul is called on the Saints. The only 2 players on the floor tonight who have not scored are Georgia Bolton and Kaylee Ford. Bolton is not, I don't think, going to get an opportunity. Ford has been in and out of the lineup here in the second half, so she might get a few more chances to put the ball in the basket. Turnaround off the glass is good for Destiny Hughes. Nice move for Hughes. Calumet's got their first points of the 4th quarter. Here's Mahomes on the right wing. To a cutting Kennelly across the paint. Mia Kennelly drives, loses control of it, but able to recover to shovel it out to Thormeyer. Scholl from the corner, misses it short. And loose ball is grabbed once again by Mia Kennelly. Kennelly has had a really strong second half. Leilani Harris is called for carrying it. And there's the St. Francis turnover. First collegiate double-double for Mia Kennelly. She's got 12 points and 10 rebounds for the game now. This is Destiny Hughes. Hughes drives left side. Runner is no good over Scholl. And Autumn Scholl grabs the rebound, knocked out of her hands by Coleman, but she gets it right back. Here comes Sierra Mahomes leading the charge. Mahomes takes it inside, and she's fouled. Going up for 2. Sierra Mahomes will get to attempt free throws for just the second time this year. Alina Yankee is back in for Autumn Scholl. So John McGindy continues to shuffle his reserves in and out here in the 4th quarter as Mahomes hits on the first free throw. Yankee did start 2 of the first 3 games this year, but she's played big minutes off the bench today as Mahomes knocks down the second free throw, and there's number 100 for the game for St. Francis. They've hit the century mark for the first time this year, and they lead Calumet St. Joe's by 78 points. 7.5 minutes to play in this one. It's Jasmine Barker up top. Tough night so far for Barker. Trying to finish on a high note. Hughes, just to the left of center court, walks it off to the wing, guarded by Kennelly, around the screen, takes it into the corner, and her pass is errant and out of bounds. She's trying to get it to Vanessa Howell inside. The ball slipped out of her hands. In fact, I'm not sure she even meant to let it go at all. I don't know if she was looking to pass that ball. Just lost a handle on it. Yankee inside, fouled. Alina Yankee to the free throw line. Seen more free throws here in the 4th quarter than we saw for much of the game. Saints only had 6 of them in the first 3 periods total. This will be numbers 3 and 4 in the 4th period as Yankee hits on the first. 11 points for her. She's a perfect 4 of 4 from the line. That's a big positive for her after she had been just 2 of 6 early in the season. She's got 12 points and 8 rebounds. Lead is up to 80 for St. Francis. Barker backing in. Passes outside to Coleman. Markeisha Coleman working against Pellegrini. Inside, floats it up with the right hand and misses it well short. Harris grabs another rebound, and she takes a hop with it. Traveling violation called against Leilani Harris. Fighting Saints turn it over for the 9th time today. 4th time it's been Harris to cough up the basketball. Here's Destiny Hughes slowing it down for Calumet. Handoff to Markeisha Coleman. Coleman crosses over, drives, misses off the glass. Fight for the rebound. And we've got a tie-up. And possession arrow faces St. Francis. So the Fighting Saints with an 80-point lead have possession back. A lot of work today for the St. Francis second unit. And a lot of young players on this unit, so it's, I'm sure, been good for the Fighting Saints coaching staff to get a little bit of a look at some of these players playing big minutes as Thormeyer misses on the three. Rebound tapped out to Destiny Hughes. Hughes on the run, pulls up, and blocked from behind by Alina Yonke, who's called for the foul. Second foul on Yonke, who checks out. Kaylee Ford comes in. Foul situation a little bit more dire for Calumet right now. They've got two players who have committed 4 of them. They cannot afford to have 2 players foul out. They would not have anybody else to play. First free throw is good from Destiny Hughes. Hughes has a team leading 6 points today. 5 rebounds lead the team as well. She's perfect from the line. Now 2 of 3 on free throws as Vanessa Howell knocks the rebound out of bounds. Scholl is in for Ford for St. Francis. Pellegrini passes off to Harris. Harris looking down low for Scholl. It's deflected out of bounds. Harris will inbound here. Deflected right back out. Leilani Harris has 11 rebounds to lead all players in tonight's game. 7 points for her as well. She fires it into the corner for Mia Kennelly. Kennelly trying to find Scholl inside, deflected. Scholl tracks it down. Nice pass into Thormeyer, who can't finish. Well defended by Vanessa Howell. And we're going the other way. It's Markeisha Coleman. Coleman, step back from the free throw line. Off the backboard, no. Offensive rebound, Calumet. We got a whistle and an injured player for the Crimson Wave. Jasmine Barker hobbles to the bench. Marissa Esquivel comes back in. Esquivel playing with 4 fouls. I mentioned earlier that the Crimson Wave can't afford to see 2 players foul out. They can't afford to see 1 player foul out either, especially if Barker is not able to continue. She's sitting on the bench right now, hasn't been talked to by her coaching staff. Spinning inside, Howell is blocked by Harris. Ford gives it to Pellegrini, and Pellegrini sprints down the floor, takes it all the way inside, and she's fouled. That is number 5 on Marissa Esquivel. So she's done for the day. Let's see if Barker's able to continue. Otherwise, the 79-point game, and Calumet might have to play 5 on 4 here. Jake Parker walks over to Jasmine Barker to see if she is okay to continue. Looks like she is, so she'll head back into the game, but she's got 4 fouls as well. With over 5 minutes to play, still a very tenuous situation for Calumet. They have just 7 players on the roster. One of those players is inactive today. So only 1 reserve has been playing all game as Pellegrini makes the first free throw. Talia Pellegrini's got 12 points. Misses on the second shot. Rebounded by Destiny Hughes. Hughes is on the wing. Bounced inside and knocked loose by Kennelly, who comes up with a steal. Kennelly is hounded by Barker. Barker's got to be a little bit more careful than that, playing with 4 fouls. Does not make any contact here. This is Harris. Harris fakes to the right, passes to the left side. Open shooter, and it's knocked down again. 5 3-pointers for Mia Kennelly, who's got 15 points now. 15 and 10 rebounds for her. All of that off the bench for St. Francis today. 83-point game. 3-point attempt from Barker is off the mark. Rebound is tracked down by Howell. Here's Ariel Esquivel up with the right hand. No good. Scholl grabs the loose ball. Pellegrini still in a hurry here. She crosses over to her left, finds Kennelly into the corner. Kaylee Ford fires the three, and that's good. Kaylee Ford scores for the first time this year. And now all but Georgia Bolton are on the scoreboard for St. Francis as Autumn Scholl deflects that pass out of bounds. 13 different players have scored at least 2 for the Fighting Saints tonight. Jumper for Ariel Esquivel is good. Esquivel has 9 points now to lead Calumet. So she's played well, coming off of Jake Parker's bench this evening. Esquivel came into play today, having scored only 4 points total in 2 games. There's a steal for Markeisha Coleman. Coleman takes it in, blocked from behind by Leilani Harris. Here's Thormeyer down low. Thormeyer dishes into the corner. Another 3-point attempt for Ford. This one rattles around, does not go. Baseball pass down the floor from Esquivel to Coleman. Pull-up jumper for Markeisha Coleman, misses. Another rebound for Harris. She's got 13. Thormeyer bounces into Scholl. Kicked outside, wide open in the corner. Ford, another attempt. She's 2 of 3. She's had 3 straight open looks from that same spot on the floor. She's knocked down a pair of them. 6 points now for Kaylee Ford. The lead is up to 87 for St. Francis. And even with the subs in here in the second half, they have not slowed down. 50 points on the board here in the second half. Barker is tripped up and fouled, shaken up as she hits the floor. And if she's all right to continue, she'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Second time today that Barker's been a little bit shaken up. She had to check out a few minutes ago, limped towards the bench, and was there for only about a minute before a foul out forced her back into the game. And now just a few minutes later, she's down on the floor in pain once again. This is bad news for Calumet. Obviously, you never want to see any player hurt. Barker is their leading scorer for the season, although she's had a rough night tonight, just 1 of 17 from the field. Came in averaging 21 points per game. But if Barker is not able to continue in this game, Calumet does not have any other players available. They came in with just 6 total players on the roster. Again, 7 players officially on the roster, but Journey Tisby was not dressed tonight, not able to go. So they had just 6 available players. Marissa Esquivel has already fouled out. So if Barker can't continue, they're down to Coleman, Hughes, Howell, and Ariel Esquivel. And already trailing by 87 points with 3 minutes to play in the game. St. Francis's biggest margin of victory ever is 89. That happened in 2008, a blowout win against Indiana University Northwest. And they may well surpass that today as they've continued to put the ball in the basket here. Very impressive in the second half. Barker is up, but not putting any weight on the left foot as she hops out of bounds. So I don't know if she'll be able to go at any point the rest of the way, but certainly she's not going to be able to continue right now, which means that Calumet is down to just 4 players the rest of the way, it would appear. St. Francis scored 31 points in the first quarter, 31 in the second, 31 in the third. They're at 19 so far here in the fourth quarter. Season high coming into today had been 87 in their season opening victory right here at home against Madonna. Marissa Esquivel checks back in, so apparently they're going to allow her to play with 5 fouls as a result of the shortage of players. She does hit the first free throw. I don't know if there's a rule allowing for this. I don't believe there is. I think this is more just sportsmanship. It does nobody any benefit to play 5-on-4 the rest of the way. So Esquivel does check back into the game despite fouling out. She hits the second free throw to make it a 112-26 game. Leilani Harris dribbles in from the right side. Kick back out to Thormeyer. Thormeyer over to Sierra Mahomes on the left side. Pull-up jumper for Mahomes is good. Sierra Mahomes has 6 points for the game now. Ariel Esquivel fires the three, barely grazes the front iron. And Mahomes comes away with the rebound across half court. Harris up top. Inside to a wide open Autumn Scholl, and Scholl lays in another one. Her second bucket of the evening. Here's Hughes. Hughes gives it up to Coleman. Coleman walks back to the top of the key and hands it to Ariel Esquivel. Another three-point attempt for her is an air ball. Final 2 minutes of play here. Saints by 89. They led by 31 at the end of the first quarter. They were up 22-0 in the first 4.5 minutes. So it's tempting to say that they never slowed down. They have slowed down somewhat because their initial pace was pretty unrealistic to keep up for any amount of time as the pass is deflected out of bounds. For a while, they were on pace to score over 100 in the first half. They had to settle for just 62. Here's a drive from Harris. Harris gives it up to Scholl. One dribble, loses the ball on the way up. Loose on the floor, diving on top of it, Destiny Hughes. We've got a tie-up, and the possession arrow favors the Crimson Wave. They'll take it down the other way. Calumet was held to just 5 points in the first half. So they have picked it up here in the second half. 22 points since halftime. That is on 8 of 32 shooting. 25% this half after they shot just 7% in the first 20 minutes. Drive from Hughes, she scores, and she's fouled by Kaylee Ford. So she'll go up to the free throw line, try to make this a three-point play. Hughes has done a good job of getting herself to the line here in the second half. She's 2 of 3 on free throw attempts. This would give her 9 points for the game if she's able to connect. That ties her with Ariel Esquivel for the team lead at 9. It's an 86-point game, 70 seconds still remaining. St. Francis on their way to a 3-1 start to the season and 1-0 in conference. That ball is stripped off of Kaylee Ford. It got her leg on the way out. So it's Calumet basketball. All 3 of Calumet's games this year have come in conference play. Still working on a 3-year losing streak here. This will be their 37th consecutive loss, going back to January 15th of 2020. That's kicked by Mahomes. For St. Francis, a 2-game winning streak, assuming they're able to hold on to this 86-point advantage over the final 48 seconds. They took out the Indiana St. Francis team on Saturday after falling to 7th-ranked Marion for their only loss of the season. They went 1-1 up in Milwaukee this weekend. The runner misses, rebounded by the Fighting Saints. Probably the last shot of the game coming up for St. Francis. So it looks like they will not set that record that I talked about a few minutes ago for the largest margin of victory in school history. Thormeyer fires the three, and it's good. So that ties the mark at 89. One last possession here for Calumet. Destiny Hughes with 13 on the clock. Passes over to Markeisha Coleman. Coleman on the wing, backs it up. 8 seconds to play. Coleman passes off to Esquivel. Long 2-point attempt for Ariel Esquivel. Misses short. One more rebound for Leilani Harris, and that wraps it up. 119-30. St. Francis defeats Calumet College of St. Joseph. A dominant victory for a Fighting Saints team that got off to a good start to the non-conference schedule. Even better as they begin CCAC play. They lost just 2 conference games last year. Trying to do even better than that this year. They were projected as the top team in the conference preseason. Looks pretty good so far, thanks to an 89-point victory today against Calumet. Final totals, the Saints shot 53% from the field, including 49% on three-pointers. Calumet just 18% overall, 8% from beyond the three-point arc. Saints were led by Justine Charlesworth and Mia Kennelly. 15 points each for them. They led a quintet of Fighting Saints in double figures. Jordan Pyle and Alini Yonke each had 12 points. Pyle's came in just 8 minutes on the floor. Talia Pellegrini scored 12 as well. Leilani Harris led the team with 15 rebounds. Mia Kennelly had 10 of them as part of a 15-point, 10-rebound double-double. 5 assists led the way for Kennelly and Switek. Well, Mia Kennelly's stat line, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and a team-high 2 steals as well. She played really well tonight, certainly the best game of her young collegiate career. Calumet was led by Ariel Esquivel and Destiny Hughes, who each had 9 points. Hughes also paced the squad with 6 rebounds tonight. 119-30 the final score. St. Francis ties the university record for largest margin of victory at 89 points. Just an out-and-out dominant performance. They scored the first basket of the game 8 seconds in and then never trailed the rest of the way. St. Francis back at home on Saturday. They take on Trinity International as they try to remain perfect in conference play. It's a 1 o'clock start time this coming Saturday. That'll do it for our broadcast of this one, but stick around here through the USF Sports Network because the men's team takes on Calumet's men in the second half of today's St. Francis doubleheaders. Hopefully you stick around for that one. Otherwise, perhaps we'll see you on Saturday when the St. Francis women try to pick up their 4th victory of the year. 119-30, our final score here tonight. Until next time, it's Terry Bonadonna signing off from Joliet, Illinois. Talk to you soon.